in the country. As Ahmed Bhatt was saying, that we have Young Development Fellows program in which we take 40 young, bright, fresh graduates, and most of them are from top schools and universities in the world. They come and spend 1 year with us. They get first-hand experience of public policy, how it is done, and then they go out in the world. Some of them get good jobs and some of them pursue their PhD in good universities. So that is our one window to have youth with us. But we also have a youth internship program in summers. So this year we are starting a youth internship program for international Pakistani students. So we will be accepting summer internship program. In summer internship program, our students in good universities in United States, in UK, in Europe, to have this opportunity to work for 3 months during the summer in Pakistan on some of the research subjects that we have. Following wholeheartedly, and we feel that we can only be successful if we all work together. It's not about any government, it's about us. It is about Pakistan. It's about Pakistan in 2047. So we have to rise above whatever differences we may have, but we must learn to collaborate for higher goals and higher objectives of the country. And this is one area where I feel that our diaspora can play the same role that NRIs played in India, that Malaysian diaspora played in Malaysia, Singapore diaspora played for them, Chinese diaspora played for them. I think you two are equally competent to become a catalyst for Pakistan to grow to run faster on this journey and this path. So, the issue of education deficiency, how we address the issue of health deficiency. In health, we have one of the highest rates in hepatitis C. To address this, we are starting this year a program with 67 billion rupees to eliminate hepatitis C in 3 years, like Egypt has successfully done. So if they could do, why cannot we do? So we have allocated those resources and have made it a national goal that in inshallah 3 years we will knock out hepatitis C from our population. Similarly, we have started a major national initiative on diabetes to also bring that under control. We have started an 8 billion rupee initiative on child stunting so that we are also able to address the issue of child stunting. So what I'm saying is, it is not just words or speech that I'm making. In strategic management, we say that if something is not matched by budget allocation, it is just a pep talk. So, your seriousness only is reflected when you have the budgets behind your goals. So, all of these goals have the budget allocations that we can give under our limited, finances or funds that we have available. We are focusing on youth and women as the driver of future growth strategy, because youth is 2/3 of our population. They hold the key. If we will give them good education, right skills, they will be a big demographic dividend. But if we fail to give them the right skills, they will be a big demographic disaster for us. So the government is fully committed. We have recently signed a contract with a leading telecom company. It will give training to 200,000 youth in new IT skills, and similarly government has also launched several other programs. So we are giving youth training in IT sector and other new skills that are relevant in the new economy, as well as we think the other group that is important is female workforce participation. The research infrastructure that we possess, as Dr. Najib said, with industrial clusters, agricultural clusters, so each and every sector of the economy is driven by the knowledge contribution. Besides the capital, of finance, the capital of money, we today also need the innovation and knowledge capital in every sector of economy. The third E is about environment and climate change. We are the 7th most vulnerable country for climate change. In 2022, we faced a major disaster, and the challenge is how fast we adapt for future climate shocks. And the two areas that we are focused on is water security and food security. The fourth E relates to energy and infrastructure. We are working on making energy sector efficient through energy sector reforms. If it becomes efficient, it will become affordable. And likewise, also making a transition to green energy by promoting hydro and solar in the country. And that is the most, not only important, but also the weakest link in our development equation. We have relatively stable economic indicators as a middle income country, but our social indicators fall in the league of the least developed African countries, whether it is education, whether it is health, whether it is population growth rate. So all our social indicators are not compatible with our ambitions and with our dreams. Dr. Najib has already shown you the path, how we intend to build strong technology-based economy in Pakistan, because today future of economy is becoming a techno economy. It used to be an agro economy, then became an industrial economy. Now it is an age of techno economy. So we have to, at a very rapid speed, develop technological capabilities that will make us relevant in the new economy. We have a national task force on artificial intelligence that is working to see that how fast we can embed artificial intelligence in different sectors. We have set up national centers for we set them up in the previous tenure during 17-18, National Center for Artificial Intelligence, National Center for Automation and Robotics, National Center for Big Data, Cloud Computing, National Center for Cyber Security, National Center for Satellite and GIS Technologies, National Center for Genomics, and now we are setting up National Center for Quantum Computing, National Center for Nanotechnology. So all these new emerging technologies, we are trying to create strong foundations in the country so that our future economy is driven by the drivers of the new industrial revolution 4.0 and 5.0. Is for Pakistan, that is blue economy. We have almost 1,200 kilometers of coastline, but we have not even scratched the first layer of the potential that exists either in fishing or aquaculture for Pakistan's economy. So blue economy is also one of the key drivers for our future exports. The seventh is manpower export. Pakistan already is having $30 billion in remittances, and we think that this can easily go to $50 to $60 billion in next 5 to 7 years. There is unlimited demand for some skills in the international global marketplace. I see diplomats who meet me all the time and they say, if you can give us 10,000 nurses tomorrow and day after we can give you the visas, we need nurses very badly. Similarly, there are some other occupations for which there is unlimited demand. So government is now very actively reorienting the technical training programs towards those skills and trades which have demand in international markets. So that would be another area. And finally, creative industries. Pakistan, again, creative industry is becoming a $1 trillion economy. And Pakistan has, as we were discussing, so much rich culture, history of culture, art, design, fashion. Our youth is so creative, innovative, music, name anything, gaming. So there is a huge opportunity in creative industries. So we are also now very actively encouraging creative industries so that Pakistan can not only achieve exports targets, but also through creative industries, we create soft image for Pakistan as a nation of innovative people, as a nation of creative people. Industrial policy, and we also think that our industry has great opportunity and potential to further increase our exports. We have relied traditionally on textiles, but now we are diversifying our industrial base to have new products for international markets. Three, service sector. Pakistan has huge potential in tourism, in various services, whether financial, consulting, and others. So that also we are focusing and promoting. Fourth is IT. Pakistan has become now a hotspot for IT sector, and our IT exports are increasing at very rapid rate. We are already third biggest country in e-lancing, but we are promoting more startups, so that instead of just taking low wage jobs in international market, our startups and our companies should do high value work in IT sector. The fifth area is mining sector. Pakistan is blessed with trillions of dollars worth of minerals, and particularly some of the new critical minerals that are used in batteries and EVs and all these new chip making. We are also blessed with that. So mining sector is now future of Pakistan, and recently we have been able to finalize our agreement with Barrick Gold on Reko Diq, and now Saudis are also investing, Chinese are also coming in. So we see huge potential in Pakistan in mining sector over next 10 years, and we can generate billions of dollars of exports from mining sector. Ladies and gentlemen, this Udan Pakistan, as I said, is not a theoretical framework. It stands on delivery of turning around a near bankrupt economy. So if we can come this far, we can also achieve the goal of making Pakistan a $1 trillion economy by 2035 and a $3 trillion economy by 2047. If we learn the lesson from other countries of peace, stability, continuity, and reform. Under Udan Pakistan, we have identified 5 E's that we feel are critical for our future development journey. The first E relates to exports. One of the fundamental weakness Pakistan has had in its economy has been that, as I said earlier also, we did not follow an export-led growth strategy in development like other countries. As a result, whenever we grow, we create an appetite for consumption, imports grow, but correspondingly our exports do not match the appetite for dollars. So we do create appetite for dollars, but we are unable to create capability of earning dollars. And that creates a balance of payment gap, and that again forces us to cut down on economy and imports, and again we go into a bust cycle. So it is a boom and bust cycle that has been very characteristic of our economy. So we have to now fully realize the export potential of Pakistan. And for that, we have identified 8 areas where Pakistan has huge opportunity. First, in agriculture. And just to give you one example how much we can do in agriculture, 4 years ago, we were nowhere in sesame seed export. In 4 years, it has become a $1 billion export to China. I mean, this is just one example, how much we can do in agriculture sector. Similarly, it makes no sense for an agriculture economy like ours to spend $10 billion on import of agriculture produce. So government has decided to focus on developing agriculture sector by increasing our productivity. For that, we are sending this March 1,000 agriculture scientists and graduates to China to learn new techniques, new technologies, which they have developed very successfully, and in last 10 years they have greatly increased their productivity through technology enablement, through smart agriculture. So we will train our researchers in these different areas, whether it is seed development, farm mechanization, drip irrigation, whatever, and they will come back and try to develop our agriculture sector on modern lines. How would you define a leader who has been decreed by Supreme Court to have committed an extra constitutional action of dissolving the parliament unconstitutionally? So military generals did that, but this was for the first time a civilian leader was declared culprit of an extra constitutional act by Supreme Court. And I said, if in UK, any Prime Minister of UK siphoned off 190 million pounds from National Treasury and returned this money to the same guy from whom it was confiscated in money laundering or as a black money. So he returned this money, instead of depositing in the National Treasury, returned this to the same culprit as white money in his home country. So what would you say? Is this democracy or is it a crime? And then the House decided otherwise. But my point is that we have to get mature. We have to rise above these petty politics, and we have to now think in terms of bigger issues. And these issues are going to define our future and the future of our next generations. The time is not on our side. We have lost 77 years. When you are running a marathon and you are behind in the first 5,000 meters, last 1,000 meters you have to run as a 1,000 meter race with sprint, with full speed. And I think the challenge before us is we are capable, we can do it, provided we are able to do it with collective competence of the nation. And let me be very clear. Today, there is no single leader, there is no single party, and there is no single institution that can steer Pakistan out of the present crisis. Pakistan can only come out of this crisis through a collaborative effort, through a teamwork, where we can show the power, the positive power of synergy of our nation. And therefore, one of the key elements of Udan Pakistan that I will share with you is that we want to give ownership of this plan to the people of Pakistan, and particularly the talented diaspora of Pakistan, so that they can also sit with us on the driving seat and help us and help themselves. Should this fourth Udan also meet the end of the previous three Udans, or should this be a different Udan? And I would say that we cannot have the luxury of repeating the history, because as High Commissioner Saab was also saying, we were discussing that in 22 years, two countries in our region will be celebrating their centennial. Our neighboring country and Pakistan, 2047. And 2 decades just fly like that, because we are now in a digital age where things move with the speed of electron. So we have to ask ourselves that our neighboring country pretty much has a good idea where it will be in 2047. How clear are we that where are we going to be in 2047 in terms of our economy and in terms of our standing in the world? So that is a challenge, I think, that requires a response. Credit must also go to people of Pakistan. Ayub Khan's government fell for increasing price of sugar by 4 annas. There were agitation in the country. 150 rupees oil prices were increased within 1 month. You did not see a single protest on any street or in any city of Pakistan. Why? It was not easy. The poor and the middle class paid a very heavy price. But every Pakistani knew that there is no other way. This is a bitter pill that we have to swallow. And I must also give credit to the media, which had educated people that what were the circumstances and what were the choices that government was facing. But again, I must say, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif took that heat and stood with courage, and finally Pakistan was able to avert that crisis. So ladies and gentlemen, today after 2 years of hard work and sweat, we are at a point Pakistan is ready for fourth Udan. Inflation has come down from 38% to less than or close to 4%. The policy rate, which had gone as high as 23%, has come down to 13% and likely to go further down because inflation has gone down to great extent. Similarly, stock market, which had crashed to 30,000 points, is today breaking new records with 115,000 index points, which is showing that investor community is completely supporting and rallying behind the decisions of the government that they are in the right direction. So that shows growing confidence of the investor community in Pakistan. Exports are growing with about 30%. Remittances have grown with over 30%. IT exports again also showing 30% plus growth. So if you look at most of the economic indicators, we see that Pakistan is again on a positive trajectory. While we continue to be in an IMF program, which is a program of stabilization, and we have to keep ourselves within certain constraints. But despite those constraints, Pakistan is showing a lot of robustness because we had really gone far below our potential. So there is a huge gain that we need to make, and we are making, with restoration of stability and sanity in economic management of the country. In 2013, you are all aware that Pakistan was facing 16 to 18 hours of power shortage. Electricity would not come even for enough time for the batteries of UPS systems to be recharged. And people were forced to have light through candles. And there were headlines in the newspaper that Pakistan is back into Stone Age, because that was the only source of light for many people in the country. Day would not pass when a suicide bomber will not blow himself in some part of the country and have dozens of our people and security forces, Jawans, killed in those suicide bombs. And Newsweek put Pakistan on its title page as the most dangerous country in the world. Stock market had crashed. Economy was at standstill. Inflation was running in double digits. So no growth, high inflation, and country it faced serious stagflation. At that point, again under the leadership of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, was set out to turn around Pakistan's economy. Within 4 years, we installed 11,000 megawatts of new power projects. And if you compare that with 18,000 of megawatt capacity installed in 67 years, installing 11,000 in just 4 years was not an ordinary accomplishment. Pakistan also has to move forward. We need a consensus amongst ourselves that we have to stop doing what we have been doing, because that is not going to take us forward. It will keep us bogged down, or it will keep us locked into the same old cycle of instability and destruction that we have seen in our history for just moving in circles and not moving in a straight line trajectory. So I think that is the first thing, and this is again, we try to set this context in Udan, Pakistan. Why is it important for us to think? Because this is the fourth time we are seeing an Udan for Pakistan. Before this, we have crashed 3 Udans of Pakistan. The first Udan came for Pakistan in 1960s, when everyone believed that Pakistan is the next Japan in Asia. Pakistan was the first country in Asia to start space program. Pakistan was the country in Asia whose Habib Bank Plaza at that time in 60s was the tallest building east of Karachi. No other country, Singapore, no other place like Singapore, Shanghai, Thailand, or any other, Bombay had as high building as Habib Bank Plaza was in Karachi. So we were there, but 1965 war derailed us. We lost that Udan. The second Udan came to Pakistan in 1991, when Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif launched economic reforms in Pakistan, which were the first set of reforms in South Asia at that time, to liberalize the economy, to privatize state enterprises, to deregulate the economy, and to make private sector engine of growth. Late Sartaj Aziz has said this on a number of occasions, that Mr. Manmohan Singh, who was then the finance minister, asked him at Commonwealth Summit that our businessmen are pressurizing us to implement the same set of policies that Pakistan has introduced. And he asked him to send him the copies of SROs, which Mr. Sartaj Aziz gave to Mr. Manmohan Singh. And later on, India followed the same reform path, but continued on it for a decade. As a result, in 2000, India overtook us. But what did we do with that reforms? In 93, the government of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was dismissed, and with this dismissal, the reforms were also thrown into the dustbin, and we lost that opportunity of leadership in South Asia. Developed successfully, also was able to have tenures of a decade to allow policies to continue for a decade, for them to give results. Policies do not give results before a decade. You can do a project in 2-3 years. You can do a program in 4 or 5 years. But for a policy to give results, it needs continuity of at least 10 years, if not more. So in each country, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Bangladesh, India, Turkey, China, whichever country you take, I can show you that they had tenures of 10 years, steady 10-year tenure of a regime that was implementing reform or economic agenda for it to achieve the goals. Pakistanis less intelligent? Were Pakistanis less hardworking? Were Pakistanis less enterprising? Were Pakistanis less resourceful? Or were Pakistanis less honest than others? I can very confidently say that on none of these dimensions or factors we are behind any other nation. No, we are not more corrupt than you have corruption in other countries of South Asia. Or we are not, as hardworking as other nations. If you actually go to Gulf, Middle East, here in Europe or America, and I think ask third country people what kind of people the Pakistanis are, so they will at least give you 2 answers, that they are very hardworking and they are very intelligent. और intelligent इतने हैं कि हर काम की जुगाड़ निकाल सकते हैं. So, our intelligence and hard work is our actually brand. But what has happened? Unfortunately, we have not diagnosed what was wrong with us. And we never tried to learn lessons from other successful countries that why they were successful. We tried to identify these things in Vision 2010, Vision 2025, and again in Udan, Pakistan, but I think we did not follow what was identified essential and critical for Pakistan's development journey. Just as if a doctor gives you a prescription and you don't follow it and you have another angina, it's not doctor's fault, it is patient's fault that has not been very careful. All these countries exhibit 4 characteristics of an ecosystem that they develop for their development. First lesson from these countries is that no country has ever achieved development without peace. Any country that remains bogged down in conflicts can never achieve its development goals. So peace is essential for development journey. 2, there is no history in the history of mankind or no example where a country has been able to develop with political instability. So you find each and every country first having political stability and then development has followed. We have common pen in our offices to pen our papers. We did not have furniture in our offices. So we are among the 7 nuclear powers of the world. After all, we did achieve something.